Earlier on, we talked about alignment, horizontal alignment, but we also have vertical alignment of the text within a text frame. So here I've put a stroke around the frame so we can clearly see how the text is vertically aligned. And this is pretty straightforward. These are the options. The only one that might not be obvious is justify. Justify is going to spread the text from the top to the bottom of the text frame. Here are some considerations for vertical alignment. If you want to have text vertically centered within a frame, sometimes there may be a difference between officially centering it using text frame options and optically centering it. Both of these are vertically centered, but the one on the left looks like it's closer to the bottom, and that's how it starts out. Now, there are some other factors in play here that we could address this with in some instances, and they are the baseline options. I'll be talking about those in a different movie. But for now, if you want to optically center vertically within a frame a single line of type that doesn't look like it is currently centered, you can use baseline shift. Keyboard shortcut for that is Option or Alt Shift and the up arrow, and just nudge that up a fraction so that the distance above the type looks equal to the distance beneath the type. If you want to put text in a circle, maybe you want to put a number in a circle. Well, there are some different ways of going about this. You could select the frame and then convert its shape to an ellipse, and then make sure the width and height are the same, and then you can increase the size of that. I'm going to increase the size of the frame here on the control panel, and I need to, before I do that, let's just undo that. I need to make sure that I have make all settings the same so I constrain the proportions. As you can see, this isn't going well. It's taking me a long time to get there. And even when I do get there, it may not look like the text is perfectly centered within that circle. And I've had to make my circle bigger than I really would like it to be. And if I try and make it any smaller, my text is just going to fall out. So the workaround here is do it as two separate pieces. So we have the text frame and then we have the circle. I will ungroup these. So I now select them both, and then using the Align panel, which is under Object and Layout, I can, if I am aligning to selection, and then I can just align their horizontal centers and vertical centers. Let's say, for example, I don't want the position of the circle to change. I want that to remain where it is. Then I would align to Key Object, and I need to click on the circle to identify that as the key object. And then I can click Align Horizontal Centers, Align Vertical Centers, and with those two elements selected, Command or Control G or Object and Group, so that now I can move them as one. With bottom alignment of text, this comes in handy if you want to put a picture caption up against a picture and you want to align the caption to the bottom edge of the image. Then vertical justification set to bottom. So here we have justified vertical alignment on the right hand side. I'll now apply the same setting to the text on the left. Command or Control B, align, justify, and that's going to spread the text out the full height of the text frame, factoring in any insets. Now, there's one option that you might want to bring into play here, and that's the paragraph spacing limit. If you want to keep the existing leading of the text, you can put in a paragraph spacing limit. I'm going to put in a large number there just to make sure that I'm not allowing any change to the leading value. All of the extra spacing is going between the paragraphs rather than between the lines of type. The problem with vertical justification, and it does have its uses and can be very handy from time to time, but don't try and use it as a quick fix if you want your columns to balance, because you will end up with inconsistent leading in one of the columns, and that's to be avoided. We want to keep things consistent as much as we possibly can. So as an alternative, what you can do is I'll set this back to top, and then I'll choose balance columns, and that's going to give me columns of equal depth. We also have the same option available on the control panel. You can click on this icon.